Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another rack store pickup. This time I was able to find something at my local Marshall's. Guys, did you know Marshall's charges 10 cents for the bag? I don't know, it's always something, but the scent that I was able to grab is none other than Lattafa Ramz Gold. Now, I picked up the silver a while back, and I actually really like that fragrance. That is a dupe of Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultramal. I paid $16.99 for this 100 ml. So here's the reality of these Middle Eastern fragrances. And I actually did a video this week of why I think Middle Eastern fragrances have become so popular. So definitely at the end of this video, go check out that video. I will link it down below. I would argue that Middle Eastern fragrances are probably, and especially now that they're popping up at rack stores, could be your best go-to, the safest bet when trying to find a really high quality and expensive fragrance at the rack. And these are popping up more and more. I've seen a ton of different Lattafas at my Burlingtons, Marshalls, TJ Maxx's. So definitely keep an eye out for those. That's why I do these videos, to let you guys know which one of these are good and which ones are worth skipping over. But as always, let's bust this open. I'm gonna get it on skin, see what I think of the opening, see how it changes, take a look at the notes, and ultimately let you guys know if Ramz Lattafa Gold is actually any good. Let's get into it. So much like the other silver version, here you have similar text written on the front of the bottle. I am not a fan of this presentation. However, I do like the color of this bottle. It has this sort of deep red, almost crimson colored bottle with the gold cap. So that I actually like. I think that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, in terms of the presentation, not that impressed, but the color itself I like. Let's take a look at the atomizer. Really decent atomizer. I actually like the atomizer. It puts out a lot of juice. So, okay. Immediately, just in the air, it's very floral. I'm picking up maybe an oud. Okay, maybe a white floral, rose, lots of florals. So on initial spray, it does come across a little bit feminine in the air. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That oud is sort of tempering everything and bringing everything sort of back down to earth. It's not an overly floral fragrance, although those florals are pretty prominent in the opening here. So okay, and then now there's also some fruitiness coming out, which is making it lean a little bit more feminine again. So let's see what this does off of skin. Very medicinal oud, definitely picking up rose off of the skin and some fruitiness. So not quite sure what is that fruitiness, but it's very sweet. And yeah, my first impressions of this is that this is a feminine leaning fragrance. Not something I would wear personally. That's just my knee-jerk reaction right now. That could change as this settles in. Interesting fragrance, very different. Does smell synthetic. I mean, when you're dealing with things like rose and oud at a $16 price point, you're probably going to get some synthetic vibes from it. Just my initial reaction is that I think it's well balanced. I think that fruitiness really stands out on my skin, and I'd be really curious to see what these notes are, because I actually like the fruitiness, but the medicinal oud I'm not a fan of right now. It's just a little bit too synthetic, almost headache inducing. So, you know, as I'm smelling it, getting these sort of in my sinuses, just like kind of giving me a headache a little bit. But obviously I'm smelling it up close. I'm trying to get a sense of what's in here, but in the air, it's giving me the same vibe. It is very synthetic leaning. You have to be a fan of florals. There's also a white floral here that I'm not crazy about. I don't know what it is. Maybe like a jasmine or something. It is kind of cooling off a bit on my skin, so things are melding together a little more. I want to take a look at these notes and see what's in here. So the notes for Ramz Gold from Lattafa. Top notes are apple, peach, pear, sweet orange, and black currant. Mid notes are jasmine sambac, rose, and orange blossom. And the base notes are sandalwood, vanilla, white musk, and patchouli. So as I mentioned, the initial impressions of this is that it's very synthetic, but I don't want you guys to be deterred by that initial impressions, only because my experience with Middle Eastern fragrances, especially the ones on the cheaper end, so I'm talking sub $20, these need time to macerate. I don't care what anyone says, my experience has been, these have gotten much better as time has gone on. So just, they lose that rough synthetic edge that you get initially when you first open these. So whatever that is, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's just because they're pumping these things out and they really aren't giving them enough time to macerate before bottling. That's probably what's happening here. But my initial impression is that this smells like chemicals, and it's not really fading. It is in the sense that now the notes are working a little bit better together, but there's just something underlying here that I just am not feeling. And obviously you heard from the notes, you have that jasmine sambac and that orange blossom, which when there's more than one white floral that I'm picking up in a fragrance, and especially blended with fruits like that you have in here, even the black currant, the peach, it's just too feminine for me. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. One thing I will say, it does have this earthy undertone to it, which I like, but for the most part, this is night and day from Ramz Silver. Don't think that you're getting just a dupe of some other, really popular designer fragrance. This has a uniqueness to it that for the sub $20 price point, I'm actually impressed with. So they did something different. They did something unique. I would almost say that I would call this niche, not niche quality, but niche in that it's not super mass appealing. This is going to be for everyone. I imagine this being worn in seasons, the cooler seasons, nights out, and yeah, pretty much just not my thing personally, but I'm going to give it a little bit more time. This is probably not something I'm even going to wear, guys. So normally I would talk about performance, but this just, I don't think I can pull this off, if I'm being honest. Now, I will say, it smells like it's going to stick around. It smells like you're probably going to get some pretty good performance from this. Just like everything else I try, I'd be curious to know what you guys think of Ramz Gold from Lattafa. Is this one you've tried? What are your thoughts on it? I mean, let me know if I'm way off base here, but lots of feminine leaning notes for my nose personally. I mean, I guess you could call this unisex. I think some guys could pull this off. Just me personally, it's not one that I would reach for. But let me know what your thoughts are on Ramz Gold from Lattafa. Guys, just a reminder, if you have not checked out my video on why Middle Eastern fragrances like Ramz Gold are absolutely taking over the fragrance industry, be sure to go check out that video. I will link it down below. But if you like what you saw today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.